Hello students, welcome back once again. Today we shall discuss about isomerism and its classification. Students, do you know what is isomerism? Isomerism means the compounds which are having same molecular formula but they differ in structures are known as isomers, and this phenomenon is known as isomerism. So what is isomerism? The compounds which are having same molecular formula but they differ in structures. Okay? Now let us discuss in detail about their classification. First of all, we have structural isomerism. Structural isomerism is classified into chain isomerism, position isomerism, functional isomerism, metamerism, and finally we have tautomerism. And apart from structural isomerism, in the broad classification we have another type of isomerism, that is stereoisomerism. Again, stereoisomerism is also classified it into two types. One is conformational isomerism and another one is configurational isomerism. And this configurational isomerism is further classified it into geometrical isomerism as well as optical isomerism. And this geometrical isomerism is again classified it into cis isomerism as well as trans isomerism. Let us study about them in detail. First of all, we have chain isomerism. What is chain isomerism? Chain isomerism means compounds having same molecular formula but differ in nature of carbon chain. Okay, so what is the difference comes here? Here comes the nature of carbon chain. They are called chain isomers and the phenomenon is known as chain isomerism. Let us see some of the examples. Examples are, first one, if you consider a molecular formula C4H10, it can be represented as CH3CH2 CH2CH3. What will be the name of the compound? Yeah, it is N-butane. And we can also represent it as CH3CH3 with CH3 as a substituent. Now the name comes isobutane. Now look at these two examples, children. N-butane and isobutane both are having a molecular formula C4H10 only. But both the compounds are different because of the chain isomerism. Let's see another example. C4H8O. It can be represented as butanol and 2-methyl propanol. Both are totally different substances. Okay. So this is another example. Now let's move on to the next isomerism, that is positional isomerism. Position isomerism means compounds having same molecular formula but they differ in the position of substituents, or sometimes it can be multiple bonds position, or sometimes the position of the functional groups. So they are called positional isomers and the phenomenon is known as position isomerism. Okay, children? So compounds having same molecular formula but they differ in the position of the substance. Okay. Now let's see some examples. First one is C4H8. It can be CH3CH2 CH double bond CH2, that is 1-butane, that is the first position as double bond is there, as well as it can be also written with the second position double bond, that is 2-butane. Okay, so this is one of the example of position isomerism. Let's see another example. In this case, 2-methyl benzaldehyde, or you can also write it as orthotoluenaldehyde. Here, CHO group and CH3 comes in the next to the CHO group. So this is our orthotoluenaldehyde. And another one, if you consider, if it is in the third position. Okay, from CHO if you number, CHO is the first position, then CH3 comes at the third position. So it is 3-methyl benzaldehyde. It can be also called as meta-toluenaldehyde. And if it is in the opposite sides, CHO and CH3, then we can say it is para-toluenaldehyde, or you can write it as 4-methyl benzaldehyde. So this is also another example of position isomerism. Let us move on to the next one, that is functional isomerism. Third type of structural isomerism is functional isomerism. Compounds having same molecular formula but differ in the nature of functional groups. So here the difference is the nature of functional groups. Okay, so compounds having same molecular formula but they differ in the nature of functional groups are known as functional isomers, and the phenomenon is known as functional isomerism. Let us see some examples. Here comes acyclic isomers of C3H6O. C3H6O. It can be written as CH3CH2CHO, that is propanol, and other way if you write it as, it comes as a propanone. So first case it is an aldehyde, and in the second case it comes as a ketone. Now if you take another example, this is propan 2N1-ol, means the second position double bond and first position alcoholic group, whereas it can be also written as methoxyethane. So now you see children, functional groups are totally changed, right? So in functional isomerism, functional group one is alcohol, another one is ether. Okay, so now see some cyclic isomers also. In cyclic isomers, now if you look at oxetane, it can be also called 1,3-epoxypropane, or you can write it in the form of 2-methyl oxyrane, that is 1,2-epoxypropane, as well as it can be also written in the form of another name, that is cyclopropanol. So these are some of the examples of functional isomerism. Let's move on to the next one, that is metamerism. Children, what is metamerism? Metamerism is compounds having same molecular formula but differ in nature of alkyl groups attached to the functional groups. So here we have to look at the nature of alkyl groups. Alkyl groups means CH3, C2H5, like that. Okay, so let's see some examples of that. See here, one molecular formula, let us take C4H10O. It can be written as CH3CH2O CH2CH3. Okay, here both the sides CH2CH3 is in equal position, so it is ethoxyethane, and it can be also represented in the form of methoxyethane. Here one side one CH3 only, and the other side all the other carbon atoms are there. Okay, this is the example of metamerism. Okay, so what you have to mainly understand here is, here comes the difference in the nature of alkyl groups, or we can say number of alkyl groups present in either side of an ether. Another example of metamerism is C5H10O, that is, first you can write it as pentan 3-on, or you can also write in the form of pentan 2-on. So ketonic group comes in the second position as well as in the third position. So you see the number of alkyl groups. First case there are 2 carbon atoms in the left side and 2 carbon atoms in the right side. And second case pentan 2-on, 1 CH3 group in one side and 3 carbon atoms in the other side of the C double bond O. Okay, so these are the examples of metamerism. So these are actually shown by oxygen, sulfur, C double bond O, NH, C double bond O functional groups. Next we have tautomerism, the phenomenon of reversible interconversion of isomers due to migration of alpha hydrogen is known as tautomerism. Here actually a reversible interconversion takes place. Okay, so here you can see some examples. C2H4O, that is CH3 C double bond O H, that is CHO group comes that is our acetaldehyde. Okay, and it can be also represented CH2 double bond CHOH. One is acetaldehyde and the other one is vinyl alcohol. Okay, so totally different groups are formed. Only the difference is hydrogen is placed in the top and down. One, when it goes to oxygen, it becomes alcohol, and when it comes down, it is an aldehyde. So this is a tautomerism, the phenomenon of reversible interconversion of isomers. Okay, let us move on to the next topic, that is stereoisomers. Stereoisomers means isomers having same molecular formula but differing in three-dimensional orientation of their atoms in space. So children, here the difference is the three-dimensional orientation of atoms in space, how they are arranged in space, that is actually being considered. Okay, so isomers having same molecular formula but differing in three-dimensional orientation of their atoms in space. So here we have three different types of stereoisomers: geometrical, conformers, as well as optical. Optical is further classified into diastereomers and enantiomers, that you will learn in the next class. Now let's see the first one, that is geometrical isomerism. In case of geometrical isomerism, as we have already discussed, their arrangement in space is more important, isn't it? So here if you see both the cases, if you consider, one is the alkyl group CH3 is in the adjacent positions, and in the other case CH3 is in the opposite places, right? So first one we can write it as the cis isomer is formed in the geometrical isomerism, that is the isomers in which two identical atoms or groups lie on the same side of the double bond. Okay, so first case what it is, cis isomer is the isomers which two identical atoms or groups lie on the same side, whereas in the other case, that is the second case, that is our trans isomer. Trans isomer is actually formed the isomers in which two identical atoms or groups lie on the opposite side of the double bond. Okay, in case of cis isomer, identical atoms were present in the same side, and in case of trans isomer, two identical atoms or groups lie on the opposite side of the double bond. Okay, now if you look at here, that is CH3 C double bond CH3. So both the cases name will be same, but the orientation, see now 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 if you consider, first one is butadiene and second one is also butadiene, but first one is our cis butadiene because CH3 groups are in the same side, and in the second case we have butadiene trans butadiene because CH3 groups are at the opposite side. Next we have conformers. What are conformers? A form of stereoisomerism in which isomers can be interconverted exclusively by rotation about their CC single bonds. Okay, so if you rotate the CC single bonds, interconversion of species are formed. That is actually due to their rotation. That's why they are called rotamers also. Okay, the form of stereoisomerism in which isomers can be interconverted by rotation about their CC single bonds. Let us see some example here. This is the eclipsed form. Look at this. Here you could see the eclipsed form of ethane molecule. And there, if you turn 60 degree of rotation, it can be converted into another form. Okay, that is our staggered form. So these are the two forms or two conformers of a compound. Now let's see some features. These isomers are formed by the rotation of CC sigma bonds. Alkanes can have infinite number of conformations. Rotation around CC single bond is not completely free. It is hindered by small energy barrier, that is 1 to 20 kg per mole, due to weak repulsive interaction between the adjacent bonds. This repulsive interaction is called torsional strain. So children, some of the features of rotamers are: the isomers are formed by the rotation of CC sigma bonds. Alkanes can have infinite number of conformations. Then they are formed by the rotation about their CC angle. Okay, and there is actually a small energy barrier only, that is 1 to 20 kg per mole, and this can be actually easily overcome, and these repulsive interactions are called torsional strain.
Okay, now let's look at the conformation of ethane. Alright, we've seen the diagram. Now let's look at the simulation of it. Now this is an ethane molecule, a carbon, 3C carbon, 3 hydrogens, and then your carbon with 3 hydrogens. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just rotate this molecule, yeah, and overlap the 2 carbons. This is the Newman projection, right? And see how nicely the hydrogens are spaced, yeah. And so this is the first carbon. We usually show that as a dot, and the second carbon we show as a big circle, right? Because it is hiding behind the first carbon. And so each of this carbon has 3 hydrogens, and the dihedral angle, which is this angle, right, between the 2 consecutive hydrogens, is 60 degree. This is a staggered conformation of ethane. Now let's look at an eclipse conformation of ethane. Yeah, this is the same molecule, looks exactly the same, and just rotate it, and then you see that it's an eclipse conformation. Now, so this is a staggered conformation, and all we did is we took this carbon-carbon single bond and rotated it by 180 degrees. You can actually rotate it by 60 degree, and you still get eclipse conformation. But for all practical purposes, just sticking with 180 degree rotation, because we're going to keep that consistent for now. So we rotate it by 180 degrees. So this hydrogen will be here, and so all the hydrogens will then overlap in this particular manner. You got an eclipse conformation of ethane, and this is the space filling model of ethane. Yeah, and this is clearly, this is eclipse conformation, and this is how ethane molecules, if you could see it, it would probably look like this. The 2 hydrogens, the hydrogens are overlapping, eclipsing, and this is not good. You can see that they are almost invading into each other's space. Almost, it's not clearly, but almost. So this is obviously much less stable than staggered conformation. Okay, so let's see the space filling model of staggered. Okay, so this is a space filling model of staggered conformation. You can see it looks nice. There's much space between the hydrogens, and so obviously this is more stable conformation.
In case of conformations of ethane molecule contains CC single bond with each carbon atom attached to 3 hydrogen atoms, and when you keep one carbon atom stationary and rotate the other carbon atom around the CC axis, these rotamers are formed. Now this rotation results into infinite number of conformations. However, there are 2 extreme cases. One such conformation in which hydrogen atoms attached to 2 carbon atoms are closed together as much as possible is called eclipsed conformation, means one comes just behind the other one. Other in which hydrogen atoms are as far apart as possible is known as staggered conformations. So there are 2 main conformations are possible, that is eclipsed as well as staggered conformation. Eclipsed and staggered conformations can be represented by Sohor's as well as Newman's projections. First, let us see Newman's projections. The molecule is viewed in CC bond head-on. So that is the main point in Newman's projection we have to remember. The molecule is viewed at the CC bond head-on, and the carbon atom nearer to the eye is represented by a point. And the rear carbon atom, that is the carbon atom away from our eyes, is represented by a circle. So in front of us what is defined, that is a point only, and rear carbon, that is the carbon atom away from the eye, is represented by a circle. The lines radiating from the center of circle denotes the bonds of the carbon closest to us, and those lines radiating from the circumference, that is outside, denote the bonds of the carbon farthest from us. In staggered form, distance between the hydrogen nuclei is 2.55 angstrom. In eclipsed form, distance between HH nuclei is 2.29 angstrom. Dihedral angle in eclipsed form is 0 degree. Dihedral angle in staggered form is 180 degree. So this is the circle is the rear carbon and the point is the near carbon. Look at these examples. This is our staggered conformation, and if you look at this one, this is our eclipsed conformation, means hydrogen atoms comes one just behind the another one. Remaining conformations are called skew conformations, means if you rotate any degree, any angle you can rotate, so this can be formed infinite number of conformation. So all those conformations are called skew conformations. So mainly we have eclipsed and staggered conformations, and the rest of the conformations are called skew conformations. So children, we have to make sure that apart from the eclipsed and staggered conformations, the remaining conformations are called skew conformations. Now let's see the relative stability of these conformations. Staggered conformation has the highest stability as compared to skew conformation, as compared to the eclipsed conformation. In eclipsed conformation, bonds are very close and have maximum repulsions. So there, whenever maximum repulsions are there, what we can infer, stability will be less, right? And in staggered conformation, bonds are at maximum distance and have minimum repulsions. Whenever minimum repulsions are there, we will have a maximum stability, right? So students, today we have discussed about different types of isomers and conformations. I hope you understood these topics. We will discuss another interesting topic in the coming module. Thank you and have a nice day.